downloading stuff. So I watched, I started a bit after 9 o'clock that night, and I watched it until 11 minutes past 5 the next morning. And see, I understood the gematria. That wasn't, because you know me and numbers, I convert everything to numbers, and I'm telling everybody the universe is created through math. Mathematics is the language of the universe, so what's the big deal? The gematria was just an extension of what I'd already learned to do. So to me, it told the story, and I just marvelled at the mind of God. And here he is trying to explain it in the most simplistic terms and get through to, hello, anybody out there? I understood all of that. And so the next morning, I had 2 hours sleep, and then I woke up. I think I had tea and toast. Yes, that's right, because it was a little bit early to be calling a household that I'd never called before. So I had tea and toast, and then I went to information, and I picked up the phone and I said, Michelle Nye, N-Y-E. They did not ask me what town or what, they just said Michelle Nye. I said, yes, thank you. And then, wait on a moment, and I'm thinking, they haven't asked me anything, and I just said, anyway, I'm used to the City of Angels. I'm thinking, perhaps I'm connected to the City of Angels. But then they put me through to the person who said Michelle Nye, and then I said Greensboro, Victoria. It took seconds. And then I dialed the number, and Brian answered. And I go, hello. My name is Janelle Margaret, and I live in Barrel. Can I come and see you? So I'm thinking, you know, I've been backwards and forwards all this time seeking this guy, and he's here in Australia in my own backyard. And so if he's here in Australia, I've got to go and see him. And then I said, I'll just make the arrangements and let you know. And by that time, I got off the phone. Okay, I sent an email to David. I said, it's him. And then I said, I talked to him over the phone. He's expecting us, because I'm thinking David would be really enthused and okay, when are we going, kind of thing. Well, okay. Then Brian sent me an email saying it was nice to talk to you this morning. And by this time I'm beginning to think, okay, how is this going to work? I'm supposed to be holding on. And I'm thinking, he's here and I can't get there. And so I was just concerned about getting there. And then after another email or two where things were explained, then I picked up the phone again. Anyway, our first 3-4 hour conversation took place. I think it was the Tuesday night, or the Tuesday or Wednesday night. And then after I made the announcement to my friends in the fashion that I did, you know, the trumpet blast, ta-da, he's here, he's got a lot, and you've all got it wrong, get over it, he's here. And then I got excommunicated. I sent another email, that's right, it was the 7th of April, because the 6th is the resurrection, the anniversary of the resurrection. And Brian knew that he was waiting out the prophetic, which was after the resurrection. Martha and Peter and Mary, they were all making their way to the tomb. Martha, she was a much fitter disciple. She outran Peter, arrived at the tomb first, sticks her head in and sees that it's empty. Peter has a casual glance. Mary remains. Peter and Lazarus must have been with them at the same time, because the scripture says that Martha and Lazarus returned to their home in Bethany and they're mourning. However, Miriam stays at the tomb and she's crying her eyes out. She's mourning and weeping and crying her eyes out because she doesn't know where they've taken the body of their Lord. And so when Jesse turns up in the garden and she doesn't recognise him, because he explains the last time she saw him he was scourged and bloody and...
Yeah, that's the thing in one that really bothers me. This doesn't recognise him. But she knew him before he was ripped. And
that's right. Well, she was expecting the body to be scourged and beaten. Like the last time she saw him, he was a mangled mess. However, he was in his resurrected body.
But they cleansed the body, but I suppose it was still...
Yeah, but still, he's still bearing the scars now, 2,000 years later. So what do you think it was like then, a few hours after, But anyway, so he says to her, but it's not until he says to her, Mary, that she recognises who he is and says, Rabboni, and he says to go and tell the others. Well, she goes, and the others, I gather, must have been in Bethany because that's where Martha and Lazarus. And she tells the good news, and it was Martha and Lazarus who believed first. The others they weren't convinced, they didn't believe. And it's like David here.
Did they have an inkling that he was going to rise from the dead?
Well, see, Mary knew that. Martha didn't. Martha was the younger sister. Mary knew that he would rise again. It was just, you can imagine. Okay, he said this, so why am I surprised? But anyway, okay, now full of joy. But Martha believed the report, and so did Lazarus. The others, they had to see the real deal, and that's when he turned up time later and began teaching them. And the scriptures unfold, and don't you remember I told you them? And then they were the group that went out from there to spread the news, but it was Martha and Lazarus first that believed, and that was what had to take place. So my friends weren't supposed to believe me for that first week because the time hadn't passed, and it wasn't until the conversation with Brian on the anniversary of the resurrection, which was the 6th of April, that he breathed the Holy Spirit over me in that conversation. I didn't even know. And then after that I can't write down. When I understood that, he emailed that to me and explained that this was the prophetic being fulfilled once again, and now anybody who believes your report, the Holy Spirit will pass on to them. And so that's when I can't write down, and sent out another email, and I just explained what I explained, and at the end I said, please forgive me for my first, rush of enthusiasm and excitement, Martha, steamroller, can-do steamroller. And but still, it didn't, nobody has responded to that, except to say that I'm excommunicated, and Tom is in complete agreement with Peter, and that Diane is praying for my healing, as others are. Anyway, but that's all that's okay. But now, like Brian was explaining to me this morning before David came out. See, until David met Brian, he wasn't convinced of anything. He was reserving, because he's full of this stuff that he hasn't laid down. I laid all that down because I laid it down before I actually ran into the truth. Because it was confusion, and God is not confusion. And so the simplicity of what Brian is sharing with the world removes all confusion. That should be the clue right there. That should be it right there. Settles all argument. No more confusion. Because God is not a God of confusion. He's a God of order, and He's the master mathematician. And in the beginning was thought. And it was gilt-edged. So, here we are. And we were all there, we were all party to it. We all came up with this, DVD that has played itself out over 6,000 years. What's amazing to us is that...
what am I doing here? I'm not royalty.
Well, we don't know who you are. Maybe you are.
A
horse's ass. The donkey. Adam's ass.
Adam's ass, yeah.
Well, you were the messenger, actually. You were the Italian messenger. You see, all those dreams that came down to it, you were the messenger. And you did a marvellous job. It's just that you didn't believe me, or I don't know whether you believe me or not, but I kept saying every dream you had when you were saying to me, I'm telling you I've met another man, and I'd say to you, it's Jesus, I'm telling you I've met Jesus, it's Jesus, it's Jesus. So now when I tell you, it's Jesus, it's him. Well, let's get you committed. Let's agree with Richard. Like, did I not prepare you for this moment in time? All these years? Did I not prepare you right from the beginning? I told you all my focus. Well, I was. Anyway, that's all. It's all part of the journey.
The Bible say when it comes, you won't be prepared for it.
Well, nobody was, because he's been here since 1944. Who was prepared? He wasn't. Were you? You weren't prepared.
It was a likely idea, I can tell you that.
Yeah, right.
Found out very quick.
Yes. And so, no, nobody was prepared. Nobody knew, nobody was prepared.